All right, Ah-Beetz, we're here on site in Delray Beach, the heart of South Florida, at the flagship location for Ah-Beetz. Welcome, Steve. Tell our viewers who you are and what you're part of here today.
Hi, I'm Steve Sager, and I am part of the board of Ah-Beetz Pizza, which is a new, tremendous franchise opportunity, and what I think is the best pizza in town, New Haven-style pizza, and we're excited to have a company that's going to grow and give everybody a fantastic franchise to be part of.
I'm excited about you because you are an exciting addition to the Ah-Beetz franchise. I mean, nobody knows how to spot a better franchise opportunity than Steve Sager.
I hope so. I mean, I'm really excited about what we're doing with Ah-Beetz Pizza. Nick and I met through a mutual friend, and I wasn't sure at this stage in my life that I was ever going to get into another franchise again. And I was so excited not only about what Nick was doing with the chain and with the potential chain to grow it, but how much his passion was for putting out the best product possible every single time to every single customer. And when I see that kind of passion, it really reminded me of the way I felt about how I look at food and what something I want to be part of. So I was excited about that.
And Steve, I mean, you hit it on the money. I mean, let's talk about Subway a little bit. Over 265 locations. What a legacy. How did you know that it was going to be the right opportunity?
For Subway, it was a little bit of luck, a lot of timing. I'd like to think that what we did in South Florida was pick the right product at the right time. You know, I loved what Subway represented back then. It was a family business. It was started by a gentleman named Fred DeLuca that made it really special in a family atmosphere. And we thought that there was an opportunity to grow with that company. And we just started building stores very quickly. And it evolved over time from a franchisee in South Florida. And eventually we became the franchisor in South Florida from Miami to Vero Beach, and built a lot of stores and had a lot of happy franchisees back then. It was really cool.
When was the moment you knew you made it big?
When I made it big? That's an interesting question. I think when I had a convention for my franchisees, and we had second generation coming in, kids that were now working with their families, and watching the growth and the success of bringing other people into something that they were excited about and bringing their families into excited about. And truthfully, at the end of the day, in a franchise, you have to have something that people want so that you can make money. And my franchisees were doing really, really well. And I saw the excitement in that at this big meeting that we had locally. And I remember standing on stage and saying that as a team, we've developed something really special here.
And that's a really exciting point. I mean, when everything comes together and everyone comes together and everything is done right at a franchise, it's an undeniable feeling of success. Franchising actually takes a lot of the heavy lifting out of the equation for the franchise owner. Talk to us about that. You know, Ah-Beetz is making a very simple recipe on how to really roll out these locations. What were you most excited about when you heard about what they were doing here?
Well, it starts with the food. It really does. And some of the things that we did early on, that I'm watching Nick do early on here, is exciting to me. It's fresh product, homemade, everything from scratch, whether it's the dough, how we make the pizzas, how the wings are done, the care in every order that goes out, even our salad dressings being homemade, trying to get the details that the customers can taste the passion in the food. And to me, that means everything. So when I originally had met Nick and decided to to go forward and be part of this, it was really the passion of the brand and saying to everybody involved, Nick's sons, the people he surrounded him with, everybody who's running from the store level on up, you could see how much they love what the brand is and how excited they are for the growth. And that's a big thing to watch.
Well, what I love most about it is these are restaurant operators running restaurants and developing a franchise opportunity that's almost, fully turnkey.
Correct.
A lot of times you've got franchise opportunities and the people behind the operation are not necessarily restaurant experts who've been in the industry. This team consists of a big legacy of individual and independent restaurant operators that have had success in their own respectful industries.
They have, and what else is interesting in that is that you look at what they're trying to grow into a franchise, and what you really need is something that people can duplicate.
Right.
So you said it perfectly. Now, the passion and the food, to me, in this day and age, is a little bit different than Subway. So when Subway first came out, there was no competition. So Subway was the only company really making sub sandwiches on a mass scale. And so while it started out in a way where it was all fresh and people loved the food, truthfully, over time it changed and it became much more corporate structure because a little bit over time they lost their identity. Nick will not lose his identity, and this chain will not lose its identity. The reason I wanted to get involved was exactly for that reason. You're going to have a situation where franchisees can come in and build almost a mom and pop atmosphere with the quality of the food, right, and do it by having a structure and all the operation manuals and the support team behind you and the training and helping picking locations and negotiating prices. And even what Nick has done is bring in Chef Glenn, who's been a pizza master for now going on 30 years. And I've been friends with him for a long time. And I saw a synergy between the two of them. And I said, this is a marriage made in heaven. This is perfect. And they, of course, have gotten along great. And he's going to bring that even extra element to what we were talking about, keeping the food at a level which is superior to pretty much every other brand out there, whether it's a franchise or not. And
Right.
the fact that you can bring people in and open an Ah-Beetz pizza and be able to serve people and customers and make them happy with this fantastic product and do it in a way that is not complicated because you've been taught all the ways to make it as good as possible every time is very special.
I agree. Okay, so let's talk about that authenticity in Ah-Beetz pizza. It's the New Haven style of pizza. When did you first get exposed to New Haven pizza?
Well, it goes back to my Subway days, which is very interesting. So everything comes full circle, right? So Subway's based in Milford, Connecticut, which the city next door is New Haven. So on the many occasions that I had to go to Milford for meetings and events, my first trip would either be to Sally's or Pepe's when I landed.
Oh,
So I
okay.
understood New Haven pizza going back at least 30 years, and it became my favorite pizza. So when I would tell people in South Florida about it, it really didn't resonate with them. They understood what New York pizza was. They understood what Chicago pizza was. They didn't really understand what New Haven pizza was. So as I would tell people, and I'd tell people, oh, if you're anywhere near Connecticut, you'd have to go and try this type of pizza. And now it's really become mainstream, but interestingly mainstream. It still has a lot of legs to move forward to get even more people excited about New Haven pizza. And I have found that anybody who tries it very quickly becomes their favorite style of pizza.
Okay, so for our viewers out there and for prospective franchisees, can you describe the difference, the taste difference that Ah-Beetz pizza makes?
Well, to me, one of the most important things about any pizza is having it well done. So there's two ways to do it well done, where it's made correctly, obviously, but where you have a crust and they call it the undercarriage of the pizza that has a crisp body to it, and it doesn't flop over so you're just eating dough. So New Haven pizza, the way it's made, the way it's cooked, the way the dough is processed, everything about it enhances that flavor of having that dough that turns into a wonderful pizza visually, which is important. People eat with their eyes. So when you see this beautiful pizza with this crust and this little bit of char around the edges, you know you're getting a pizza that you're going to bite into and have that incredible flavor and taste. And all the items that you would put on it are going to only enhance it and not cause it to be deficient in what you're eating. Because a lot of places you'll go to that don't have this style of cooking the pizza the New Haven way, if you put items on it, sometimes it gets soggy and mushy, and all of a sudden people go, oh, I thought I wanted all this on my pizza, and it's not quite the same. And with the pizza here at Ah-Beetz, it's completely opposite of that. You can put your items on it, you can make sure that you have it the way you want and still get this great undercarriage, quote, unquote, and this great crust that people love eating and visually looking at.
Amazing. And the Ah-Beetz opportunity is not just about pizza. There's a lot of menu diversification as well. What do you think about that?
Well, I keep going back to pizza because I love pizza. But the wings, it's interesting. There's every flavor to me is better than the next. There's my favorite is the garlic parmesan. I just think it's delicious. But to me, the wings are, again, everything is made in-house. They're made everything from scratch, all the marinade, and then how it's cooked, and then how it gets to people's tables, and the customers get to again eat with their eyes and see this well-done, great wing. I'm going to go back to pizza all the time. These wings that just have this very good appearance when they sit there, and then you taste in it, and you see how much care again was made into that,
and
how they taste.
They're baked, not fried.
And they're baked, not fried, and they still get this well-done appearance and this nice bite to it. And they're obviously going to be healthier for you, but they're very decadent. They taste great, and that's the important thing. And then I touched on it earlier a little bit. I'm a salad guy. I love to have something fresh and green when I'm eating. Before I'm going to get into the pizza or the wings.
Yes.
And our salads are delicious, and what makes them even more special is all the homemade dressings, which I think, you know, there's so many salad places that you can get a salad. I don't know how many do it the way Ah-Beetz does it, where they take the care and the time to make sure that you know, every dressing is made in-house. And it's funny, my wife is a ranch person, loves ranch, and she came here, and we are going to have homemade ranch, so she'll be happy too. But she tasted the garlic, the garlic parm dressing. My brain turned off for a second, and she actually brought it home. She's like, I'm bringing this home because I'm going to have some later when we're doing it. So you know, that's just the extra step in doing things. And all these and everything, the way it's done is back to what we talked about, how you can duplicate it. It doesn't matter how good one store is going to be. If you're a franchise location, you have to make sure that every location has that same level of consistency.
You know, I think the point that you mentioned was really so poignant, and it was about the fact that Nick is not going to compromise quality. And I think, having been in the hospitality industry for so many years, at the end of the day, it comes down to one recipe. It's good food, great service, great ambiance, but it starts with the food. And so the Ah-Beetz opportunity really is to be able to buy into this franchise opportunity that has the integrity of scratch-made cuisine, authentic New Haven style pizza, the salads, the wings, everything else that you could possibly want for a night out without compromising the quality. And I think that we've evolved so much in terms of kind of moving away from processed foods. There's a desire for people to want to buy into something fresh.
100%. And like, you can read right down our menu, and even items there, it's how you keep the menu simple,
right,
and how you add touches to it. So Nick knows that I love to tinker, so we're trying to play around with even doing bread made on our pizza dough and having like a meatball parmesan one day, something simple, one or two items, not to enhance the menu, not to necessarily expand the menu to where it's not tenable for the franchisees and for the people, more importantly, that are making stuff every day, to keep that level of consistency. But sometimes you want a little fun, you want to add things here or there to make it more exciting. So those are things that I really like. That's fun for me, and it's fun for the chefs and all of us, because ultimately, if you really care about the franchise and you really care about what you're building, you're all chefs at heart. You're all
Correct.
people that that have a passion for people to enjoy the food that you've created, and we want to keep doing that more and more and more. I will say something else that was important to me when I met Nick and when I decided to get involved. One of the things that I don't think is a secret is one of the things that Subway has done over the years is they grew to a point where I believe in certain places they had impacted franchisees. And I think that Nick's vision, and what I mean by that, when I say impacted franchisees, it means that they had put stores too close together.
Correct.
So the idea that Nick has is grow organically, make sure that franchisees have an opportunity to grow the brand without putting them in a situation where they're cannibalizing each other. That has, Nick's vision is to do none of that. And to me, that's important from what I came from, to have that ability to grow, be successful, but watch franchisees really have an opportunity to make a lot of money and to build something for themselves and feel proud of what they're doing.
Right.
So that's really important to me.
So where do you see the territories going? What is your vision?
That's a good question. I think that right now, again, we're back to the organic part where we're talking to different people around different parts of the United States and making sure that they have the infrastructure with them if they want to build. I think that it's very easy for a brand that has traction, such as Ah-Beetz right now. People are really, really coming to Nick on a daily basis, and vetting them is important. So it's a two-way street. We want to have people come in, and we want to have people make sure that the company grows. But you want to pick people that have a vision similar to the brand's
And the
core
needs.
values.
Right.
And the core values are finding people who have the right people in place to continue to grow in a manner that's going to keep the Ah-Beetz name all over the country special and something that everybody can be proud of.
Okay, Steve, this is the time. This is it. This
Right.
is the telling moment. You bought into this franchise. Talk to us about what we've got on the plate here.
Well, I said that from the beginning that people eat with their eyes. It all starts with you have to have an appeal when you're first looking at the food. I don't know how it gets any more appealing than this.
Gorgeous.
You have a beautiful pizza that has the right ingredients on it. You have the freshest cheese, homemade sauce, doughs made every day, and then you put it through the oven you take it at the perfect time where you have this beautiful golden color on the cheese and the crust has this nice char on it. And if we pick up a slice and you look at the bottom and you look how it stays, this is the magic right here. They call it that it doesn't flop. What you don't want to do is do that. Now that I pulled on it a little bit, but it stands up and you have the beautiful look on it. And then I guess when you take a bite,
Is it well done?
it's well done. It's got incredible flavor, and everything melds together perfectly. And it's just an incredible product that I find my absolute favorite pizza, and I never get tired of eating it. And to me, that is the key. It's light, it's airy, it's delicious, and once you have it, you're not going to want any other style of pizza. It's just too good.
But the question is going to be, I mean, you're famous for something. Take a look. That's what he's talking about. Look at that crust architecture. Actually, Chef Glenn calls it the cell structure of the slice. So we're getting very technical here. But you are the creator of the original $5 footlong. I want to know this story at Subway. How did that happen?
Well, it's an interesting story. It's a lot of fun. So as most ideas that become onto a world of its own that you can't control, it happened really by luck. So what happened was there's a gentleman by the name of Stu Frankel that had a $5 footlong for 3 years in his weekend location at Jackson Memorial Hospital, which is a big hospital in Miami, Florida. And on the weekends, they were very slow. So he said, I'm going to do this $5 foot long on the weekends. He just came up with this number. And he would show it to us at these meetings and say, listen, look how well I do on the weekends at this store, which should be very, very slow. So, okay. Nobody really got that excited about it because it was this weekend promotion. Fast forward, I had a store that was doing poorly on Commercial Boulevard near Andrews, a little tiny freestanding building. And the owner moved back to Utah, actually. He was a pilot, he and his wife, and we took it over from the company. And I had a very good friend that was running it, and he's frustrated that we can't get the sales up. And I said, Stu has this location in Jackson Memorial Hospital. He's doing great on the weekends with this $5 footlong. I went next door, literally, to Sinorama. I made a banner, 3x8, and it said $5 footlongs all day, every day.
Oh, wow.
As simple as it could be. I took the banner, and again, you need a little bit of luck for things to happen like this. There happened to be 2 poles right on the front of the property, right on Commercial Boulevard. We tied it to the pole, and the next thing you know, our sales literally doubled the next day. Literally doubled. And
this
it
is
never
in
stopped.
what year?
This is in December of 2007. And the owner of Subway, who's Fred DeLuca, happened to live very close to there. And he was an intense person and unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But he sat in that store for 2 weeks in awe of how this little idea was gathering all this excitement from the consumer, that this price point was just resonating with them to a level that none of us had ever seen. So within a very short time, we expanded it to all the local Fort Lauderdale stores, and we watched all their sales go up like crazy.
Wow.
And then from there, we convinced basically the advertising board at Subway in March. They were going to do a $2.99 special in March of 2008, and instead they did the $5 footlong, used pretty much what we had written, which was $5 footlongs all day, every day, and expanded it from there. And kind of like they say, the rest is history. It was kind of a crazy, crazy time.
That's amazing. Until today, it's still part of the legacy, right?
People remember it like crazy. I don't think you can sell a lot of things for $5 anymore like you used to, but it still was an incredible, fun, exciting time in the franchise industry. Everybody went ahead and used that $5 price point pretty much across the board in every franchise. So it was a lot of fun.
So is there anything that you foresee in the marketing future for Ah-Beetz?
I think it's a little bit different now. People want value, but sometimes people find value in what they get for their money, which is really, to me, that's most important. You want to give consumers and the customers that come in that feeling of atmosphere, how they're treated, how the food comes out, and at the end of the day, the quality that they're going to be eating. And the quality that they get from Ah-Beetz is so incredible to me and for everybody who tries it. And I mean, I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but I really do feel the love in every slice. Like you can feel the passion when you walk into the original store off of Jog and Atlantic, and it's this little store that has grown into this kind of cult situation in South Florida that people just absolutely love, because they feel like family when they walk in. Everybody treats them well, and all they do is after that first bite, like I just did, I can't wait to take the next bite. It's just really, really good.
Now, Steve, it's very special to have somebody of your nature sit on the board of a franchise. So talk to us about the Ah-Beetz franchise, and what does your role involve being on the board?
My role is interesting. I think because I've developed, I was at the very beginning of what turned out to be the biggest franchise, which is Subway, to try and take the things that they did well and bring that to Ah-Beetz and try and avoid some of the pitfalls. So some of the pitfalls is really making sure a few things: that you don't grow too fast,
right?
That you make sure that the quality is never ever sacrificed, and that you're always making sure that the customers come first. Right. You do that and everything else falls into place. And you're going to find that, so for me personally, I love food. So anytime I can play around and work with recipes or tinker around and make sure that everything is tasting up to par, I would be part of that. When it comes to helping franchisees find locations and making sure that the locations are the right locations. I've done a lot of that through my career, and I'm happy to help on that. We've done marketing. $5 footlong was one. We also our group down here in South Florida brought toaster ovens to Subway, which took us to the next level,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was exciting. So I'd like to think that we're going to be innovative as we grow also.
All right, Steve. So education is such an important part of the franchise model. Talk to me about the Ah-Beetz training program.
Well, it's interesting. So a lot of stores, especially at the size we are, which we're relatively small in the franchise community, we believe we're going to grow very rapidly, and it's going to be wonderful for everybody. But at the same time, there are certain things that small franchisees don't have the opportunity to give to their potential franchisees. We already have that. We have built a training store, a full training store, which is going to be everything that a franchisee would have in their store, from the oven to the prep to the way we're ordering. It's a full store that they're going to be able to go into and work at and
that's
operate for the
awesome.
main reason of training potential franchisees to learn the business in a way where they're not doing it in a school setting, they're doing it in a real world setting, which I think is very important.
All right, Steve. So we have to teach everyone how to say it right, right? It's a pizza is how it's spelled, but Ah-Beetz is how it's said.
Yes, Ah-Beetz is where it came from in New Haven back when they first opened the original New Haven pizza back in the 20s. And everybody said it, you want to say things phonetically so they're easy. So we actually trademarked the way it's easy for people to say Ah-Beetz. And you read it and say it, and it's perfect. So we're happy we're able to have that in our name, and we're excited to move forward so everybody can know what the best pizza is, Ah-Beetz.
And everybody can know how to say it right. Ah-Beetz.